Hello, and welcome to We Hate Skill Windows, a podcast about hating skill windows and also reviewing webtoons, manhwa, and other power fantasy things. Today we are reviewing The Return of the Crazy Demon, or The Return of the Mad Demon if you're reading on webtoons, which is about a guy who is coined the Crazy Demon or the Mad Demon. He's a martial artist. He has a ability, a knack maybe, to annoy the heck out of people. And he's also pretty good at martial arts. And then he's fighting someone over like a powerful elixir. And as a FU gesture, he swallows the pill, falls on a cliff, and gets regressed. And then spends the next 70-ish chapters pissing people off and making people think that he's crazy and also not caring. I think that's the charm of this one. Our main character here, he does not care.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a pun I can make somewhere. The main character doesn't care actor. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, I don't know how to do.
Have you played Room 40?
Whoa, what's room 40?
Room 40 is not.
Oh, what have we become? Are you gonna get me with name country in Africa?
What's Africa?
No, that's not the joke. No, the joke was supposed to be like, can you name a African country that starts with K or something? And then they're like, Kenya, and you're like, Kenya, stuff these nuts in your mouth. I think that's how that goes. I don't know. It's been a second. I at some point I think we stopped. Uh, this friend group that we're part of stopped actually trying to get people with these nuts jokes and just started inserting it into conversation. I don't even know the actual jokes now. There's no character these nuts joke. No, that doesn't work. Anyway, you have a better memory of this. Uh anything you disliked about this? Seeing how that's the crux of these reviews.
Dislikes. Okay, well, I guess the only thing I actively kind of passed over was like when he first actually respawns and reveals after.
Respawns when he resurrects
uh
himself.
he freaking his first thought was like, I'm younger. Oh my god, well, gotta start training immediately because I'm 10 years younger. Like, I feel like
But that's fair, right? Because he's a martial artist.
it's like it's always like the very first instinct. Usually you reincarnate, you think you're like, what the frick happened? But like these people thought they're always like, oh, 10 years younger. All right, training time.
I mean, they're obsessed with Mirim, though, right? So
It's
I feel like it's fair because their only thought is I have to get stronger either for the Jianghu or for the Mirim. And the logic is if I start training earlier than I did before, I'll get better and stronger. I mean, that still
like
makes sense, I think. For
it makes
normal
sense that they want
people,
to get
right?
stronger.
Like
It's
for
just a
normal
very
people,
abrupt
we'd probably
change.
take like a few weeks to realize what the hell was going on. But I think it's fine because these guys do
Um,
not care about anything besides strength.
it just feels like a very abrupt and very very just cookie cutter. Like this is the premise of the story. Go go. I don't know. Like you started the first sentence, regressed, stronger. All right, in we go. It's like those stories that they don't start out with an actual premise. They just show a screenshot of like the gate, and then the hunter, and you're like, oh, okay, I know where we are.
First chapter, regression, open eyes. So 20 years ago, things started forming in the sky. They were called gates, and came with it came the onslaught of hunters, people with unimaginable powers that could fight against these dungeons and dragons. And I was
Oh,
destined. I when I first awoke as a hunter at the age of 20, as a class hunter. It's like
oh,
20 of these synopsises.
please. If I see like a vaguely portal-looking thing, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
It and then you know when they're an F class hunter, you're like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have like a growth type technique.
Yeah, nonsense. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. But yeah, that was the only thing where I was like, all right, here we are. I overall, I think the entire thing is very enjoyable, even though like I'm not like super impressed with its like the arcs that they're having or like kind of
I
the
think you're I think it's called you're not super impressed with how little actual story there is.
yeah, but this in
Man, is
story
it
100%
amusing
makes yeah, exactly. He's top
channeling the
tier.
low Wuji energy as you said.
Yeah, he's got good dialogue, extremely eccentric, has
Has
very funny.
abilities to piss everyone off hard
Yeah.
and still do well, you know? He's like good at being a prick in their thigh, a prick in their side, but also he's not weak.
Yeah.
I like that. It's also got very good art, by the way. I mean, if you couldn't tell, everything we review has good art. I feel like what what was the worst art we've reviewed? Maybe
Tower of God.
Super Evolution. Top.
Tower of God.
No,
The beginning.
okay, but like, oh, but it got better.
The,
Yeah. Okay, Tower of God, beginning art versus Super Evolution.
the Religions is better.
Really? You
Mhm.
versus like How to Live as a Villain? Any of the other ones that felt traditionally pretty shit? You really feel like Tower of God had a charm to it, I guess. That's my nostalgia talking. It was pretty bad. You know what? That's fair.
It was very colorful, and they had really
There were way too
creative.
many characters introduced in the beginning, I feel. God, there were so many characters.
It was still really good. I mean, like, I would say they're better than a lot of things I've seen. Very good art still. But like the other ones felt like they were done by like professional studios. They're just varying degrees of professional.
I can only assume this was done by a fairly professional studio. It's got
Probably.
very, very like it's got good and also consistent art. Uh for once, I think Asura did good in being the at least one of the main translator groups for this. They're sort of like rough around the edges translation style really does good here.
Honestly,
On
it matches the
Asura's ability to
characters.
not give a heck, uh, it helps. I think I feel like okay, so like for me, I found this one on Webtoons, and then I finished all the chapters, and I was like, damn it, okay, time to find it on Asura. And I was like, wow, I think Asura just straight translated it way better. I think webtoons did worse by being so PG.
Mm.
I feel like that's the case with webtoons for a lot of things. And also, webtoons translators are like not incredibly. Uh, I don't know the word I'm thinking of. They're not like super consistent, I think.
Yeah, they don't all do all their spellings the same, which always pisses me
No, they
off.
don't. And sometimes it feels like this is more in particular because what towards the end of the God of High School, and I know that, you know, I think isn't your opinion that it like wasn't that good? Or am I wrong?
Towards the
Did you
end
like it
of
towards the
God of
end?
High School. Oh, I didn't read the ending.
Oh, well, for like the last like probably 80 or 100 chapters I would say, the translations got increasingly worse and worse. And
Mhm.
I feel like this was the case for like Noblesse as well. I don't know. I remember just towards the end of something, the translations just seem to get worse on webtoons, and you start wondering to yourself, is it even worth reading on here anymore? But I mean, if not for like Asura or another group like this, you wouldn't have anywhere else to read it. Like if Asura or Leviathan or something wasn't covering it, webtoons would be your only place to get it. And that sucks because webtoons, I mean, I'm not going to pay for it. I don't know if you have in the past or would vouch for it. I'm not going to pay for it.
Mm. Yeah, fair.
I,
I've paid for a couple for
what
like
have you paid for?
mm,
What have you deemed worthy to pay for? Something that you
it
couldn't
wasn't
put
really.
down.
These were all okay. The ones that I paid for, like I want to support this author, was Weak Hero. A couple I just
Oh,
caved because I was like impulse purchasing.
oh, Wikiro deserves it. That's fair. Wikiro and the other one. Didn't we talk about supporting this one possibly, or like we should support this person's like in college and doing this as well? What was it called?
The
I don't know.
Handshaker.
Yeah, the one that's like
Oh
always
yeah,
on hiatus.
I did purchase Handshaker too because they're like, oh yeah, I'm a college student. I was like, yeah, I felt that.
I was a
Here,
college
my
student
money.
once. Oh man, when is Scooby and Shag gonna be on the front page? Shag and Scooby.
Never,
Why?
because it uses Disney characters
Oh,
and
that's why,
Cartoon
isn't
Network
it?
characters.
Wait. Oh, you bring up a good point. That that makes a lot more sense than
Uh, yeah,
that. Wait, that makes so much sense. That makes a lot more sense.
yeah.
That sure would make a lot more sense. Also, it hasn't updated in a while, huh?
I wonder if one of the corporations gave them a DMCA strike or something.
There's no way, right?
That'd
Surely?
be so
Or did they
sad.
get like
So,
another series picked up by Webtoons?
oh, that'd be nice for them.
No, this one's earlier. I was looking at them. But let's see what the author's up to. Mystery Crew is wait, hold on. I just realized the name of the author is Mystery Crew, but spelled Misterekrew. I understand now. Uh,
Amazing.
I think they're just currently no, they've yeah, they just haven't updated social media since December 20th, 2022. Where's Scuba and Shag at? I wonder if any comments are like, where are you at? Yeah, all the comments are like, hey, where you at? I don't know where they're at. That's unfortunate. Just gone. A legend gone. Did we cover Scuba and Shag one time? That's a power fantasy, right? Right?
Honestly,
With
kinda.
the stuff they get up to, I feel like Scoob is a power fantasy. No, Mickey Mouse? There's some weird. Hold on. One of these chapters has a Mogus. What is happening? Or is there an Among Us character? The art style's changed as well. Huh. Oh, I see. Someone dressed up as an Among Us character for Halloween.
Walking through
Oh
events.
boy. No, they walked through like an open house, but it's like a haunted house except their friends disappeared. Damn. Oh god, and there's just death in the hallway. Damn.
What
I need to
the
reread this thing again. This was a good series. It had such insane, stupid factor. Uh,
crazy?
this was the best. Better times. Better times, pandemic times, I would say. When everyone had simultaneously the most time and the least time. The most time to do whatever the heck they wanted, the least time to worry about their health, though. Uh, before, I was gonna say before we review this, or rate it, we should talk about what we like about it, but I think we just do that in our ratings, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. One thing I did want to bring up that we did briefly talk about before recording. Uh, the main character in Return of the Crazy Demon is treated very poorly by a lot of characters in the series. They say he's ugly. What part about this man's face is ugly?
It's-
In fact, let's extend that to most of the people. Most of the people in either in Murim shows or series, or just like in general. My main complaint there is omniscient reader. Even in the novel, and now in the webtoon, omniscient reader Kim Dokja is treated as if he's like incredibly unattractive. The man is literally very attractive. And now I understand that like apparently it's like maybe the you talked about like the Korean
Oh, beauty
beauty
standard.
standard, but I feel like he's fine, right? Does he
Yeah,
not match it?
honestly.
He's tall. I feel like that's gotta count for something. I don't know if that's part of the standard. He's tall though.
Game Dogsha probably definitely matches
He's
up to
got
the
like flawless
standard.
skin. I don't know, like maybe his jawline's not as straight, but like I don't think that I don't
I think he's actually drawn as a typically attractive person, and
except
it's
the show keeps or
saying like, "Oh,
yeah,
we didn't expect you to be.
so
You can't
average
be with
looking.
someone that.
You can't
Yeah,
be the main character because you're too plain looking. What about this man? He's wearing white, by the way. No, everyone else in the series wears like dark clothing. He's standing the fuck out, and everyone's like, I just didn't expect you to look so ordinary. That's not true. Either Korea is the. Actually, maybe that's just Koreans. Like, maybe in Korea you can just walk it on the street and everyone's just like a model. I feel like that's not the case. I feel like that's how Korea wants themselves to feel like as a nation that favors plastic surgery. But that's probably not actually the case. I would assume so. I could be wrong. Oh god. I clicked on this just because it had chapters and I was looking down Asura. Martial God regressed to level 2 by the studio that brought you solo leveling with Redeye Studio. God damn it. No. Not this. Not by the studio that brought you Redice. No. Oh. Damn.
You have to watch it.
I have to read it now. I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's rate the thing. Honestly, let's just rate the thing. Uh, the art. To start off, the art's very good. Um,
Mm.
it's got a charm to it. I don't know what it is. I think it's like the coloring they do. I don't really know how to explain it. It feels more lifelike. No, I don't think that's the right idea. It feels. I don't know. Yeah, just like the story feels more alive to me than a lot of the other things that we've read. You remember one that we read a while ago? It's called like SSS Gotcha Hunter or some shit.
Yeah.
It was the one where the guy can summon like famous figures from history through like his power, which is Gotcha, to fight for him. But like, while the art was good, it was not insane. And even though it was fine, I hated it, really. I thought it was very plain. But
Mm.
like this art, it just does good. Also, the martial arts look good. I don't know. I'm gonna give it. I I think I've also been reading this one for way too long. I feel like I started this one during like the pandemic. It's been a second. So because of that, I'm gonna give it a 9. A 9 out of 10. Whatever. What will ever be a 10 out of 10? Did I ever give something a 10 out of 10 on art?
Yeah. You gave solo leveling and omniscient reader a 10.
Perfect. I'll give this one a 10 then. Just making sure I didn't like set a precedence through always being a piece of shit and never actually giving things 10s. Nah, this one deserves a 10. This art, it's it's just good. It does good. The backgrounds are well drawn. The side characters have faces.
Yeah.
And with all that, it already surpasses Duke Pendragon.
Ugh. I'll give it a 9 too. It was good.
Perfect. Yep. Good art. Very good art. I I I don't know if this was made by a studio or if it was made by like just someone, but I would definitely want to look into more works that this like art studio has done. The story.
Uh,
The story. Is there a story, or does this guy just run around doing things? I feel like more so his actions create story than
yeah.
there being a real story. It feels like Gintama, right? Like the main characters have a story. They technically have a purpose and an ideal. Technically, the main character has a motivation of like killing the demon sect clan leader, right? I think the heavenly demon.
Yeah. I think so.
But so far, we've not seen near anything to do with that.
Yeah.
And the the more common occurrence is the main character beats up some important character uh, from his past life, and then they get revenge on him, and then he beats up more people, and then if need be, he kills a lot of people, and then he decides, well, it'd be waste to keep these people uh, just beat up. Well, turn them into my subordinates. And then he just like collects people. He's playing Pokemon. It's hard to say
Yeah.
if this has a real story, I think. Did Luigi have a story though? I don't think so either, right?
Nope.
We might have given it a higher story point though.
I remember we gave Luigi a really trash score, which was that was one of my biggest regrets. 'Cause I was like, dang,
Regrets?
I actually really enjoyed that.
Oh, maybe for episode 50 or something, we can go back and review Luigi again. That's actually probably not going to be the case. Uh, sometimes I forget that I paused this thing for like a very long time, i.e., a month. And we should be at 50 now, but we're not. This is 47, by the way, if anyone's wondering. I was wondering, by the way. uh, so anyway, the story. Hmm. Let's give it a. I- Okay. What's the criteria you usually give for story, though, right? Like, it's entertaining, it's written well, and it's good pacing for having no real storyline.
Yeah,
Does
I
that
like how
warrant a
each.
good score?
I think each of the arcs are at least well developed. Because you know
They
how
clean
some
up
of these.
nicely. They don't have like
Yeah.
horrible loose ends. Not that many of these have horrible loose ends, but I definitely know of some that introduce like a main plot line, and then the plot line itself just doesn't. It just keeps going. Well, you know what? To shit on something else that we rated fairly decently, and by decently, I think like a 5 out of 10. Haven't we given the last two like 5.6 out of 10?
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
something like that.
Duke Pendragon. Duke Pendragon and the guy and the orc helmet guy he keeps trying to fight. They've been trying to fight each other for the last like 8 arcs. And every time there's like a fight, it's unfulfilling as fuck, and then nothing happens. And both parties decide, oh, here's this cool power I have. Let me show it to you because you are worthy of seeing me do it. And then nothing happens. And then nothing continues to happen. And it's almost like lookism. I know you're not caught up. I I know you're not caught up to lookism, but you remember Logan Lee in
Yeah,
the show, in the
yeah.
series? How Logan
He's
Lee's like a
still like,
bully. Yeah, he's
yeah.
still showing up in the arcs. We still have yet to see Logan and Daniel fight for real. I mean, we saw it a few times, but like it's been really short.
Does Logan still look the same?
Yeah, he's part of Workers now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, sorry, spoilers for anyone who reads that, but I guess if you read it, you probably aren't spoiled. It's fine. We went from high schoolers fighting in high school to high schoolers fighting in the streets of Seoul, fighting major corporations at, at the same time. And also, occasionally in the later chapters, people actually start using weaponry, like guns. And ooh boy, turns out martial arts don't protect you from a bullet to your skull. That's crazy.
Hey.
Who would have thought? I have always wondered how every like weak hero or like lookism chapter just included people like, yeah, my main weapon is a baseball bat. I really hit hard with brass knuckles. No one was like,
Yeah.
my main weapon of choice is a gun. Like, I know it's like Asia, and I think Asia just doesn't have many guns, but surely they're gangsters. They have guns. They just don't use them. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I was I but then, you know, lookism could actually have me believe in Weak Hero to an extent that even though you have a gun, you cannot beat these people. It genuinely would make me believe that. And I would be like, yeah, you know what? Turns out Daniel's CQC skill could probably outrange a gun. Uh Regardless of how stupid that sounds actually. The story let's give it a 6, I guess. I don't know. I want to dog it points for having no real story, but it's entertaining and it's well written. But I don't know where that lies, so I'll give it a
I
6.
guess I
What you give? What you say?
kind of want to give it a higher score.
You think right? Like I feel like it deserves a higher score, but I also feel like the point of rating the story is like is the story good? yes, it's good, but like, is there a story?
And
Yes,
like,
but how much of the story? But then, right, like, do you think about it? Still, I'm still wondering myself. Like, for example, for something like Gintama, is Gintama slice of life or is Gintama action adventure? I feel like
depends
it's
on what
slice of
season
life.
you're on.
So also an entirely different question. Uh, if you read something like Gintama, though, are you reading for the overall story that's supposed to happen with like the feudal war and shit, or are you reading because you don't care and it's just comedy value? I feel like a lot of the chapters in this Mad Demon, Crazy Demon is also comedy value.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's quite a few chapters where he just like gives people shit that would make them shit themselves, diarrhea, poison, and then spends the next like 10 chapters explaining to them that they'll die horrible, painful deaths, and it's just diarrhea poison. Or he'll like do some stupid thing. Actually, you know, the fact that. Give it a 7, I guess. I don't know. You make me think that I should give it a higher score. I don't know. I really like this one.
It's kind of like I
I don't
feel
want to
like it's
disgrace it.
paced well.
Yeah, I would
Like I
agree.
feel like the arcs actually feel like they have like an intro to the what's happening,
A hero's
kind
journey,
of like
perhaps.
uh,
To borrow a literature trope from high school.
uh,
Yeah, I like
and
it.
they're yeah. I'll give it like a I'll give it like a maybe a 7 too.
Okay. We'll do 7s until we both change our minds and give it a 10 out of 10 out of 10. What was that? Donald Duck, are you alright? Characters. Character score. It's got good characters.
Oh my,
I
it's
have.
just such
I
good
have.
characters.
I'm gonna give it a 10. Screw it. It's a
People
10.
people should aspire to have this level of
People
character.
should aspire to have this many characters and each one be so unique, is
They're
how it
so
feels.
good. I
Even
know.
the
Yeah.
characters I thought would not ever show up again, they show up and they have development. For example, the brothel man with
Or
gray hair,
something.
who spent most of the series currently just sort of sucking up to the main character, has finally started training martial arts, and that's good. We like to see that. And then all the like the monkey, the boar, and all the other like leaders of that one sect that main character
Yeah.
became rabbit, the union or whatever. They're all still
The
sort of
guy.
around, and they still, when they show up, you're like, oh, it's that one. And for some reason, we have like a doctor who supplies the main character with all the insane medicines and poisons he does.
Yeah.
And they're all like, I don't know. It's a feeling of like, wow, look at these guys. They all have their own like motives, I guess, and ideals. They just all live under, well, a crazy demon, I guess. They're all probably not quite
Yeah.
sane, but no one in I don't think anyone in Muram or Jonghu or whatever type of worlds would ever be sane.
Yeah.
To dedicate your life to something is one thing, but to dedicate your life with like knowing that you'll probably, I don't know, that's like either really knowing that you'll probably like die, you know? I feel like that's hard to do. I mean, it's probably more doable if everyone has martial arts. But this is not reality world where having martial arts doesn't mean you're immune to a bullet. But I feel like in the series, if you did get shot, the main character would be like, ah, yes, here's a like chi reversal technique, and oh, I'm healed. It's like JJK. No one in JJK takes a bullet to the head and dies, except for like normal people. But if
That
you're,
was an interesting.
that's a lie. While I was saying the statement, I was like, hold on, I'm pretty sure someone's died to a bullet in the head. But like, if you're a sorcerer, you have the power to like reverse technique shit. I already forgot what it's called. Curse energy reverse something
Yeah, something like
technique.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the characters are good. What would you like to give the good characters, Chris? A good out of
Hmm.
10. A 9 out of 10.
I'll give them like a 9. I didn't like
Hmm.
love the villains.
Well, half of them became supporting cast in a way.
Yeah,
So,
honestly.
well, we come down to one of the final scores, which is the skill windows score. Was there skill windows in this? I don't believe there
Not
were. So again, not score out of score. We're gonna give the skill windows a 9 out of 10. None, but if there were, I'm sure they would be fine. I would be fine with it. Okay, so we have a high score this time. And if my math is right, this is an 8.66. Because it's a
right.
9.5 plus a 9.5 plus a 7. It'd be equaling out to 8.66, give or take. Which is a good score.
Yeah.
What have we had? We definitely have to rate the things we've read, like as like a tier list or something at some point. I swear there's no reason why I should have given. You know, now that my post recording regrets are coming back to me, I feel like I should have given solo leveling a worser score. Can't help
Mhm.
but feel like that. I feel like the more we read and review, the more I'm like, solo leveling was good, but it's not that good. The art genuinely does carry it so hard.
Art Soul is insane. It goes
I
ham.
still haven't seen anything that tops art for solo leveling. The only one that's close, I think, is the World After the End. I'd say that one's pretty close. That one's got incredible art as well. But like, I think that's also done by Red Eyes.
Yeah.
So only Red Eyes can top Red Eyes. That doesn't feel
Well,
right.
the artist, the main artist from
Hmm.
V-Dice for Soul Leveling passed away.
They did. I
Yeah.
know.
So it's just if
But
the art
But
will
like
never come back.
surely this artist wasn't the one artist that could make that art style, right? Actually, you know, maybe that's not the case. Maybe it is. Damn. Well, yeah. Well, it is the case.
We'll miss Dubu.
Hey, well, is it my turn to do something? I think it is.
Yeah.
For 48, I get to pick something that we get to read, get to stare at and think, this is a little stupid. I feel like I'm finding myself with less and less time in my life. So maybe we just pick a shorter one. Well, here's the question for you, Chris. Do you want to read a good one? Or do you
I
want to
don't
read
care.
a... You don't care?
Yeah.
Okay, is it time to find the one that was like incredibly bad again? No, if it was incredibly bad, I think Asura would have just dropped it. In fact, I feel like they did. I haven't seen some of them in
And
a while.
they're still translating 66,666.
Well, that's because apparently
Oh
some
yeah.
people think it's good.
Honestly. It's being bought. I swear.
It's
Someone's
being
going.
bought.
They're buying the likes. I swear.
Okay. Let's read this one, shall we? I don't think we've read it before. I would be surprised if we read it before. Um, do you remember reading something called World's Strongest Troll?
On Webtoons?
Oh,
I do recall.
is it on Webtoons as well? I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of like the cringe. It is on Webtoons, but I was
Oh, are
thinking
you
of the cringe thing.
the cringe thing? Wait, are you thinking
Like,
of the like 99 plus 99 wooden stick or something?
no, this
No.
was the one where like the guy like explodes when he cringes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the title of it anymore. I know what you're talking about though. That one's pretty funny, but that is the cringe one. It's not the cringe one because it's cringe. It's that because it's the man literally possesses the power to cringe harder and better than anyone else. But no, the world's strongest troll or world's strongest troll is it's about a guy who plays a video game. And I don't remember if he gets like forced into the game or not, but something about playing game broke hard.
This one when he like reincarnates or something or regresses, and then he's like, "Oh, I remember all the secret achievements you can get."
No,
And then,
no, it's a new game that
oh,
he's in. The idea is like this guy is so good at games that he like plays every game just to like get to number one and then quit, which is sort of crazy. Uh, I feel like it would be a fun read. It's also got very good art, and yeah, you know, it's always got very good art. It's always good. When is it never good? It's never not good. It's always good. Anyway, with that, we conclude this episode. And also, thank you if you stayed this long and listened to this ramble fest. Uh, if you would like to, this is now your time. Your scheduled time to slam your head on the keyboard and eventually hit the subscribe button. And also play Katarina at the same time. Yes, that's
yeah.
an old joke. That's like a 8-year-old joke in the making. Ah, perfect. Ah, I think you could still slam your head on the keyboard and play Katarina. I don't think so. I think there's infinite
Probably not.
possibilities now. All right, that's it. See ya.